At 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning, I'm Jonathan Cotto. San Antonio police is searching for a man involved in a stabbing. We'll tell you everything we know coming up on GMSA.
Firefighters are called out for a house fire on the northeast side, what they found when they arrived, and where the fire initially started.
And taking a live look out at the Alamo City, 45 degrees to start your Sunday morning. Will we see the temperature swings that we saw yesterday? And what could we see tomorrow? We're checking with Sarah Spivey in just a moment. For now, good morning. 8 o'clock this Sunday, March 20th. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. Yesterday, you got out and about.
It was so sunny, so beautiful, super, super hot. I mean, people were out fishing, there were picnics, even people grilling, and this was along the Mission Hike and Bike Trail. A lot of fun.
Very nice. So, Sarah Spivey, will we see the same thing today?
Yeah, we will. In fact, temperatures are going to be very similar to yesterday. The one big difference is that it's going to be noticeably windier, especially in the afternoon. But as we started off the day yesterday, today we're starting off the day needing the jacket. Take a look at temperatures out there. Beautiful sunshine as we see the sunrise, but it is 44 degrees outside. Winds are not that strong right now. They're from the west-northwest at about 6 miles per hour. But again, that is going to change. In fact, here's a look at what winds are going to be like this afternoon. From the southeast, gusting up to about 25 to 30 miles per hour. That will interrupt any kind of outdoor plans that you have this afternoon, especially if you're setting up for a party or some activity outside. These winds are really going to blow things around a bit. And it's going to create a high fire danger today. So try to avoid any kind of outdoor burning if you can. Otherwise, it is chilly elsewhere out there this morning. 37 in Bernie, 37 in Kerrville, 39 Rio Medina, 47 at Stinson, 43 in New Braunfels, 40 in Seguin, and it is 39 in Bandera. So in spite of the cold start, you won't need the jacket this afternoon. Temperatures are going to climb into the 70s, into the upper 70s. In fact, it'll be close to 80 degrees in many places like in Hondo, 81, 80 at Stinson, 79 in Converse, 77 in Canyon Lake, and 77 in Kerrville. What's up with the weather? What are we going to talk about in the extended forecast? Well, first of all, the high fire danger today because of those gusty winds. Some areas are under red flag warnings, but then our attention is really going to shift to Monday because storms are possible Monday. Not only storms, but severe storms are possible Monday, especially in the afternoon. I'll detail a timeline that we could see a hail and tornado threat in the KSAT 12 viewing area coming up in just a bit. Alicia, Max.
Thank you, Sarah. Developing story this morning, the latest in Austin, a big update to that 6th Street shooting overnight. Austin police have announced that this suspect has been arrested. Now remember, we first told you about this 6 a.m. this morning. The shooting happened early this morning at 6th Street and Neche Street. Now, this is the last day of South by Southwest. A lot of people in Austin this week. 4 people were shot, but Austin Travis County EMS says none of those injuries are life-threatening. The motive behind the shooting still under investigation. We do expect updates throughout the day, so make sure to stay with us on air and online for the latest. And back here at home, new this morning, San Antonio police still investigating, still looking for a suspect who they say stabbed someone at a party.
Our Jonathan Cotto joining us live with more details. Jonathan, good morning. What have you been able to learn?
Good morning, Alicia. Good morning, Max. Information is limited right now, but we have learned this incident all started at a family gathering. This was the scene close to midnight last night. Police are telling us 2 men were arguing at the party when one of them pulled out a knife and stabbed the other in the stomach. This all happening at a home on West Salinas. That's on the city's west side near Buena Vista and Zarzamora. We're told the suspect did take off in a vehicle and has not been located. Right now, we've learned the suspect was taken to University Hospital and we're told he is in critical condition. This case remains under investigation. Reporting live, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Jonathan. Arson investigators busy this morning now trying to figure out how exactly a fire started a home on the city's northeast side. Let's take a look. This was the scene just around 12:30 this morning, 5800 block of Spring Crossing. San Antonio firefighters on the scene telling us the deck in the back of the home caught fire. Those flames spread to the house. We're told someone was inside at the home. At the time of the blaze, they were able to make it out safely. No injuries reported, but damages to the home estimated at around $20,000.
A man remains in the hospital this morning after allegedly being shot in the chest by a trespasser. It's a story we first reported to you yesterday on GMSA. It happened on the southwest side on McKinley Avenue. The 24-year-old victim and his girlfriend arrived at the home and saw a man asleep on his back porch. When he went to investigate, police say he discovered a man sleeping on his grandfather's porch. We're told the victim woke the man up, and that's when police say the suspect shot the victim, then took off. A neighbor who didn't want to be identified says he's uneasy as violent crime creeps closer to his home.
Living here all my life, so it's kind of like traumatic in a way, especially after we found out what was going on and that, there was someone that was actually sleeping in the back. It could happen in our house as well.
Still, no arrests have been made. Police continue investigating.
There are a lot of organizations in and around San Antonio working to help future generations in our community. The UP partnership is working to do exactly that, but in a unique manner. The goal is to ensure all young people across Bexar County, all those young people are ready for our future.
The group wants to deliver on this plan by coordinating data, aligning pathways, and promoting policy change that can help to unlock the full potential of our young people, our communities, and our region. Joining us in today's Leading SA segment is the CEO, Ryan Lugalia-Holland. Good morning.
Good morning, Alicia and Max. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for joining us early this morning. So we gave a small description of the organization, but in your own words, how would you describe your effort?
Well, you named the key thing. So across all of our partners, we have one shared mission, and that's to ensure all young people in Bexar County are ready for the future. We do not provide any direct services. We're what's called a backbone organization. So we support and connect our partners. We work with over 130 local partners from UTSA and to Musa and Alamo colleges to smaller organizations like Powerhouse and Ella Austin Center. But collectively, they reach about 400,000 young people, which is roughly 70% of our county's young people.
So this organization has been around for years. What have been some of those big projects and some of the progress that you have witnessed?
Well, countywide, since our founding, there have been dramatic gains in high school graduation, which we deeply needed. And that's huge. And so now a lot of the focus is on post-secondary enrollment, which you see when you look at, Alamo Promise, Bold Promise, the Aspire partnership from Tamusa. There's a lot of powerful focus on enrollment now. But what helped prepare us for that was the focus on high school completion over the years. So we made contributions to that through major attendance initiatives. More recently, we've really been focused on making sure all young people are staying in school and by changing school discipline and improving school discipline practices and policies, as well as making sure they have that high quality out of school time support. So when the school bell rings, where does your kid go? Do you have to leave work early to pick them up? Or do you have a place that you can trust that's going to continue to work with them on their academics and their character? And fortunately, San Antonio and Bexar County are rich with organizations like that. We provide them data and training to strengthen their programs. More recently, we were able to work with the city to get a dedicated $10 million fund out of the ARPA dollars for youth success. Young people have had a really hard time during the pandemic. They've been isolated from one another. They've fallen back academically. And so we're really excited to see the city make that investment in community partners that give those young people the resources they need after school.
That $10 million bond, so important. So tell us about your new project, Future Ready Bexar County, and why implement that concept now?
So Future Ready Bexar County will be publicly released on April 28th with over 50 of our partner institutions. And it's really a response to the pandemic. So our board in April of 2020 launched an equitable recovery pledge to make sure that the inequities that we had in major outcomes like post-secondary enrollment before the pandemic did not get worse, and that we could actually use this crisis as a turning point to create a more inclusive Bexar County for all of our young people. So that's what drove it. And the plan has three big pillars, what we consider must-haves, and that's healing. All young people need access to healing supports, especially if they're struggling emotionally or mentally. And they need access to high quality programs, to post-secondary education, and ultimately to careers that will give them a living wage. And they need voice. It's hard to keep up with all of the challenges that young people have been going through. And the only way to do that is to listen to them. So all of our partners in this plan have committed to scaling healing, access, and voice in their practices and in their institutions. And just to give you one example of the why and how our young people have been affected during the pandemic, coming into the pandemic, the data told us there were about 33,000 young people between the age of 16 and 24 who were not connected to school or work, what we call opportunity youth. Now that estimate is more like 75,000. So the plan helps us all work together, get the arrows aligned in the same direction to make sure all of our resources and all of our leadership efforts are doing everything they can to close those gaps and ultimately eliminate those gaps. And we're really grateful to the San Antonio Area Foundation, to the city's Department of Human Services, to USAA, and to our national funder, Blue Meridian Partners, who all helped to make this plan possible.
All right. Well, Ryan, thank you so much. Anyone who missed any part of the interview, our full discussion will be on KSAT.com throughout the morning. We really appreciate your time and look forward to the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, time right now, 8:10, 44 degrees.
Still to come, a college professor going the extra mile to make sure students uphold the honor code. What steps he's now taking to make sure students stop cheating.
But straight ahead, the luck of the Irish has downtown businesses seeing rainbows as crowds return to pre-pandemic levels. Find out what business owners have to say about their good fortune and why it may last a little while longer.
And we're going to be talking about the parade from yesterday, all those businesses. What a perfect day to be on the Riverwalk, out and about in our community. Could we see the same today? And what can we expect tomorrow? We're going to check in with Sarah Spivey in just a few moments. Good morning, welcome back, and happy Sunday. St. Patrick's Day celebrations ended yesterday with San Antonio hosting its annual River Parade. It was an amazing time, amazing weather. Here's a look at the parade floating down the San Antonio River to make sure the river was a vibrant green. It was dyed again a few hours right before the parade began. It went down the 2.5-mile downtown stretch of the Riverwalk, and this year it featured 12 Irish-themed decorated floats with costume characters and even bagpipes.
And speaking of downtown and the Riverwalk, for almost the past 2 weeks, there have been crowds of people enjoying the sights and, of course, spending money. It's good news for local businesses, visitors, and San Antonians alike. The combination of spring break and St. Patty's Day activities and great weather has also made the Alamo City an attractive option for travelers looking for fun, affordable destination, as well as locals who decided to take some time off for a staycation. Most of the people we spoke with say it's the first time they've probably been out among crowds in about 2.5 years. And business owners say the return of foot traffic is rejuvenating their bottom line.
I'm going to say double, but I'm hoping to completely blow the last couple of years out of the water this year.
It is buzzy again. Last March, it was fine. It was okay. It was kind of normal. But this last 10 days, 12 days, buzzy is the word. The atmosphere is great.
Buzzy. I hadn't
buzzy.
heard that. Well, the boom is expected to continue this week. Fiesta is right around the corner, and this week San Antonio is hosting the South Regional NCAA men's basketball tournament. And for today, we have good weather.
Yeah, today we have good weather. Tomorrow, we're going to need to be weather aware. And I have a great tool that we're going to talk about that helps you be weather aware if you're out and about tomorrow. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at temperatures outside right now. It is chilly outside. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s this morning. A lot like yesterday, we're going to have a day of temperature swings here where you're going to need the jacket this morning, but not so the case in the afternoon. It's 43 in New Braunfels, 44 Uvalde, 49 in Cotulla, 40 in Pleasanton. Closer to San Antonio here, we've got 44 in San Antonio, 37 in Boerne, 34 in Comfort, 37 in Kerrville, 43 in New Braunfels, 40 in Seguin, 41 in Converse, and it's 40 in Hondo. That is sweater weather, my friends. But this afternoon is going to be t-shirt weather, I guess. Yeah, you're going to want to dress in layers today. Highs will be in the upper 70s, 77 in Helotes and in Bulverde. Near San Antonio, 78, 79 degrees. South of Highway 90, 80 for the high. Port SA and Stinson, 80 in Castroville, 81 in Hondo, 82 in Sabinal, and out towards Seguin, it'll be 79. One thing you'll notice today is that the winds are really going to pick up during the second part of the day. So afternoon, we're going to see winds picking up from the southeast at 20 to 30 miles per hour, gusting up to 20 to 30 miles per hour. And so if you have any outdoor plans this afternoon, know that it's going to be a bit windy out there. And keep in mind, too, that because it's been so dry and because dew points are not going to be all that high today, This is going to be an elevated fire danger day, especially for folks west of San Antonio and in the hill country in these pink. This is a red flag warning from this afternoon, noon until 7 p.m. as grass fires would spread very rapidly if one were to get started. So outdoor burning, highly discouraged, especially in the counties in the pink. But even though San Antonio is not technically in a red flag warning, if you can avoid any kind of outdoor burning, be very cautious about any kind of sparks. Just know that it's going to be a high fire risk day. So in your KSAT 12-hour forecast, we will already be in the 60s by 10, even though we're in the 40s right now. So a quick warm up here. Right around lunch, temperatures will start to get into the 70s. If you're planning on enjoying a Sunday brunch outdoors, it's going to be a great day to do that. Again, just a little windy though. Winds will be from the southeast sustained at 10 to 20, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. This afternoon, we're going to see temperatures top off in the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees this afternoon. And then tonight is going to be fairly mild. We're really not going to see temperatures fall off all that much because of those southeast winds bringing in some Gulf of Mexico moisture. Speaking of moisture, that is one of the ingredients for some storms, which are in the forecast tomorrow on Monday for us. There is a big trough of low pressure. This is a potent system, a storm-making system. It will be arriving Monday. Now let's go ahead and take you through the futurecast for the first part of the day tomorrow, the morning commute. It is going to be damp in spots. You may even hear a rumble of thunder, but we are not concerned about severe weather in the morning. It's in the afternoon that we're going to have to really watch the West Texas dry line. Storms that develop along the dry line are particularly potent and severe, and it's all about where that dry line sets up. So let's take a little bit of a closer view here. You can see in this particular forecast model, this takes the dry line right to about 281, with storms blossoming and firing up east of that. Wherever storms develop tomorrow, they are going to likely become severe, with the risks for hail, damaging wind gusts, and yes, even a tornado is possible tomorrow. So we're going to have to watch that very carefully between the hours of 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Let's just say the dry line actually makes it all the way east of Bexar County. Then all of this storminess would be out of San Antonio. But if the dry line stalls just to the west of Bexar County, all of this storminess that you see would be right over the city. So that's why we have to be very cautious tomorrow and pay attention to the weather from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. That is the time frame for severe storms in and around San Antonio, especially east of 281. Yes, we'll have a damp morning commute in spots, but 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's not an ideal time. A lot of people are heading home or still at work. So if you are one of those people who wants to pay attention to the weather between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., hover your phone over the QR code right now, and that'll take you to the KSAT Weather Authority app. Here we can go live right to your phone in case those storms do blossom over San Antonio, and we'll go live from your phone anyway, just to give you updates and information. Make sure to allow notifications. Again, hover your phone over there or pause your DVR. You can also post pictures onto KSAT Connect and we can show them on air. After that chance for storms on Monday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., it's going to be dry for the rest of the week, very spring-like. Hopefully we get a little bit of rain. It's just that I wish we could get the rain without the possibility for severe storms. Max and Alicia.
Thank you. We'll definitely plan ahead. Time right now, 8:22, 45 degrees.
All right, so the old saying, cheaters never win, may prove true for a group of students in California. What they're now accused of doing and how the legal system is getting involved.
Welcome back. Well, is this unjustified or called for? A California professor doesn't like cheaters. Who does? But he's suing students who posted his exam questions online.
He filed a federal lawsuit against 5 students for copyright infringement. So take a look. Professor David Berkovitz accusing these students of copyright infringement for posting elements of the 2021 midterm and the final exams on a crowdsourced website. The students attend Chapman University. It's in Southern California. And the professor says the lawsuit will allow them to subpoena the website for the identity of the students.
So once he gets that identity, he plans to give the university the students' information so they can face possible honor code violations. Berkovitz says he does not want to punish the students financially, What he wants is for them to stop cheating.
If anything, I think this teaches all future students at Chapman University, don't cheat because they'll come after you in court.
I mean, any student, because can't you get suspended?
You probably get expelled.
There you go, expelled, that's it.
Not great.
Not a good look.
Time now, 8:26, 45 degrees out.
The Senate Judiciary Committee will begin official consideration of President Joe Biden's nomination for the Supreme Court. We have a preview of what's ahead for nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson.
And an update to that deadly crash that ended with a young woman dying. Officials now releasing her identity. We have details next. Good morning, welcome back, and happy Sunday. I'm Max Massey.
And I'm Alicia Barrera. It's Sunday, March 20th, first day of spring.
Happy first day of spring.
Happy first day.
Yesterday you got out, you enjoyed the sunshine, it felt like spring.
I would say even summer. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but it was hot. It was so hot.
Sarah Spivey, you have your hand up?
I have to say, technically, we start spring in 2 hours.
Oh.
10:33.
I told him that.
Okay.
And you know, by 10:33, we're going to be in the 60s, so it'll feel more like spring at 10:33 than it does out there right now. It is chilly. Yes, it still feels like winter out there right now, Alicia. It's 44 degrees outside right now. Dress in layers today, especially if you have to head out the door within the next 30 minutes or so, because it's still going to be chilly. 44 degrees. Winds are from the west-northwest at about 6 miles per hour. The winds are going to be very noticeable today. A lot like yesterday, we're going to warm up quickly, but the winds are going to pick up unlike yesterday. In fact, we're going to have wind gusts of about 25 to 30 miles per hour for the second part of the day today. So if you have Sunday afternoon plans outdoors, plan on a windy afternoon. Sustained winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour from the southeast, wind gusts 20 to 30. But right now in the San Antonio metro area, it's 44 in San Antonio, 47 at Stinson, 40 in Kelly Field, and 41 in Converse. Plenty of sunshine all across the board. And then out toward New Braunfels, it's 43, 40 in Seguin, and 41 in Pleasanton. So definitely chilly out there, but look at these afternoon high temperatures. We're going to be warming up under plenty of sunshine, a lot like yesterday, near 80 degrees, 77 in Helotes, 80 at Port SA, 82 in Pleasanton, 80 in Floresville, 79 in New Braunfels and Seguin, 80 in Bandera, 82 in Sabinal and Hondo. So a couple of things to note is that with those windy conditions, there is going to be high fire danger today. And coming up in the full forecast, I'll show you which areas have the greatest risk for grass fire danger. And then we really do need to focus tomorrow on the fact that there are storms possible Monday. Now, it's a bit tricky because the storms tomorrow, especially along and east of 281, have the potential to become severe with hail and even a tornado threat. So really these details I want to focus on in the forecast coming up here in just a bit. And of course, I'll show you those areas that have the high fire danger today in just a few moments. Alicia, Max.
Thank you, Sarah. And new this morning, the name of a young woman killed last week in a crash on the west side has been released by the medical examiner's office. That victim, Kiana Arredondo. Police say the 26-year-old was a passenger in a car that went through the barrier on Loop 1604, then fell about 60 feet down an embankment. The vehicle rolled several times and then burst into flames. Arredondo died at the scene. The driver of that car was rescued and taken to the hospital, and police are still investigating the crash. And now to the latest in the devastation in Ukraine. Now the United Nations saying nearly 10 million Ukrainians have either fled the country or been displaced inside it.
The bulk of the refugees heading to Poland. ABC's Victor Kendo is in Warsaw with the latest.
This morning, the worsening crisis, the speed and scale of Ukrainians fleeing or losing their homes showing no signs of slowing. More than 3 million have left the country so far, another 6.5 million displaced within Ukraine, nearly 10 million people now homeless.
We need to adapt to new life.
They're spreading throughout Europe to neighboring countries like Moldova and Slovakia, but the majority, more than 2 million refugees, coming to Poland, where our team saw thousands officially begin new lives, waiting to apply for the equivalent of a social security number at the national stadium.
Why was it so important to get that PESEL number?
I need PESEL for many things. I need work, for money, for bank account, for staying here in Poland. until the war ends.
So far in Poland, more than 123,000 Ukrainians have received their PESEL numbers, which grant them access to legally find work, apply for a mortgage, send their child to school, or something as minor as receive a monthly public transportation pass. Inside the stadium, refugees bring their documents, fill out the paperwork, take new photos, and if approved, walk away with their new numbers within hours.
We have about 100 stalls here. For now, maximum number of people that can be processed one day is about 1,000.
Olena registering her son Ahad for his new ID number. She'd been working in Poland when the invasion began, while her older son Nazad studied at a Polish school. Still in disarray after being separated from them, she's now planning their future in Poland.
And looking at the numbers, Ukraine's population about 44 million. So far, nearly 10 million have been displaced. If this keeps up, soon 1 in every 4 Ukrainians could be homeless. Victor Okendo, ABC News, Warsaw.
Now here back at home, the latest of those devastating wildfires in Texas. Firefighters are making some progress in their fight to control that Eastland Complex fire. A spokesman with the Texas A&M Forest Service says the wildfires near Eastland, they were 25% contained yesterday as a result of wind speeds slowing down. The lower humidity actually good for the firefighters because it helps their conditions. However, gusty winds are expected to return in that area today, and that means the wildfire threat is going to be back at critical levels. Now, the fire has already killed 1 person and it's burned at least 50 homes.
In Los Angeles, at least 1 sheriff's deputy was critically injured when a department helicopter crashed in a canyon. 5 people were on board the helicopter at the time of the crash yesterday. The sheriff's airship was heading to a traffic accident north of Azusa on Highway 39 when it went down in San Gabriel Canyon. Sheriff's deputies injured in the accident were taken to a medical center. The crash is still under investigation. And a historic round of hearings will begin on Capitol Hill tomorrow. The Senate Judiciary Committee will consider the nomination of Ketanji Brown Jackson to serve as the first Black woman on the U.S. Supreme Court. CNN's Karen Kaifa has the preview from Washington.
When President Biden nominated the first Black woman to the Supreme Court last month, Ketanji Brown Jackson gave a nod to another trailblazer.
Today, I proudly stand on Judge Motley's shoulders, sharing not only her birthday, but also her steadfast and courageous commitment to equal justice.
Jackson referenced Constance Baker Motley, the first Black woman to serve as a federal judge. Now Jackson is poised to inspire another generation of Black women in law and shape the nation's highest court.
For too long, our government, our courts, haven't looked like America.
Jackson was nominated to fill the seat soon to be vacated by Justice Stephen Breyer, for whom she clerked after graduation from Harvard Law School. Breyer will retire at the end of the court's current term.
Thank you, Mr. President.
The evenly divided Senate confirmed Jackson to her current seat on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia just last June on a 53-44 vote. Republicans aren't expected to make Jackson's Supreme Court hearings too messy. The court will still have a 6-3 conservative majority after Jackson takes her seat, but some areas of her legal career could draw scrutiny.
She's clearly a sharp lawyer with an impressive resume, but when it comes to the Supreme Court, a core qualification is judicial philosophy.
As Jackson has made the rounds on Capitol Hill, GOP senators have indicated her time as a public defender will be one of those areas, including work representing detainees at the U.S. military prison at Guantanamo Bay, and her views on the role of race in the U.S. criminal justice system. Democrats will emphasize Jackson's credentials and character at a groundbreaking moment.
Well, I can just tell you that she's a person of quality, integrity, and values, and she has the support across the political spectrum to prove it.
Senate Democratic leaders hope to wrap the process with a final floor vote by April 8th. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
All right, it's that time of the year again. Next Sunday, Ciclovia is returning to San Antonio. The Southtown route will have the roads closed from South Flores HEB to Roosevelt Park.
All right, this is your chance. You, your family, your pets, get outside, play, exercise, and explore. And you're not going to have to worry about traffic. Remember, they kind of close down the streets again next Sunday, the 27th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Big fan?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I've never been able to go. Either I'm working, I used to work weekends, or now I'm out of town a lot, but I want to go. My plan is to be there. Skates or bike, who knows?
Skates or bike?
You can go.
I could scoot, get some fresh air. Depends on the weather.
Oh, come on. It's going to be a good one.
All right. Time now, 8:40, 47 degrees out.
San Antonio FC is kicking the season off on a good note. Highlights from their win last night, and LA coming up next.
And just ahead, another local theater letting Mother Nature add her unique touch to the performance of an upcoming sequel. We're going to explain.
It's 47 degrees out. It's going to warm up, but it's going to be windy. We'll be back with more information.
The president calls him a war criminal as Putin's war rages on. The innocent victims, the refugees, and Ukraine fights on. Now, today, breaking new details from the war zone. And will new interest rates help our economy? Today on ABC's This Week with George.
Good morning and welcome back. If you're looking for a unique theater experience, the Classic Theater of San Antonio is now producing a show that's being staged outside at the San Antonio Botanical Garden.
Our KSAT crew got a look backstage at the unique production of A Doll's House Part 2.
It's an old school story told in a modern way. A Doll's House Part 2 is put on by the Classic Theater at the Botanical Gardens.
A Doll's House 2 is a continuation of the story of Nora. So she evolves in the first story. In the 1780s, she leaves her family and her husband, and it was quite a big deal in theater that a woman would walk out the door. So here she is, back at that door, knocking to get back in to tell her story.
It's a wonderful show that discusses gender roles and women's equality within marriage and within our society today. I think that anybody should see this show that wants to discuss issues that may have been present in the 1890s and are absolutely still affecting our society today.
You do not have to see or know or see A Doll's House, the first one, part 1, to see this show. It stands on its own. The story stands on its own.
For more information about this production or the Classic Theater, head to KSAT.com. Alexis Page, KSAT 12 News.
That is so cool.
And what better stage than the Botanical Garden?
And it's going to be great out at the Botanical Garden today, except, and I hate to say an except, windy this afternoon. Yeah.
No hats.
But at least we're going to have plenty of sunshine today. It is chilly out there right now. 44 degrees at the airport, 43 in New Braunfels, 47 Uvalde, 52 out west toward Del Rio. But as we zoom in a little closer to the metro area, you can see that it's still in the 30s. In Bandera, 35 in Comfort, 43 in Boerne, 48 in Castroville, 40 in Bulverde, 43 in New Braunfels, 40 in Seguin, 45 in Pleasanton. So again, even though it's chilly outside right now, you'll need the jacket as you head out the door in the next hour or so. But look at this, how quickly we warm up today under plenty of sunshine. 77 for the high in Bulverde, 79 in Seguin. It'll be 80 at Stinson, 80 in Castroville, 80 in Devine, 80 in Bandera, 77 in Kerrville, and 77 in Canyon Lake. So yes, a nice day, but a windy one. Winds are going to really start to pick up this afternoon. Afternoon, we're going to see temperatures in the 70s, but winds are going to be gusting from the southeast up to about 25 to 30 miles per hour. And that'll continue into the evening, too, with wind gusts up to 25 to 30 miles per hour and winds from the southeast sustained at 10 to 20. So a gusty day, and especially dangerous when it comes to grass fire for these counties in pink under a red flag warning from noon to 7 p.m. Red flag warning means that with low humidity and gusty winds, any kind of grass fires that develop would spread rapidly. And so let's all do our best to avoid any kind of outdoor burning. Even though San Antonio is not in the red flag warning, still a high fire danger in Bexar County. All right, the KSAT 12-hour forecast, we're going to quickly warm up. Even by 10, we'll already be in the 60s. And by noon, around lunch, 71 degrees around lunch. So if you have any Sunday brunch plans, which I'm sure a lot of people do, sit outside, enjoy it. Although those winds are going to be breezy. Winds sustained from the southeast at 10 to 20, as I mentioned, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. In the middle afternoon, we'll be slowly warming up into the upper 70s. By the afternoon for the high temperature, 78 degrees. And then even tonight, it's going to be fairly mild. If you have a late Sunday night plans outdoors, temperatures will dip into near 60 degrees, but otherwise you won't need the heavy jacket tonight, maybe just a light sweater. All right. we are going to see an increase in moisture overnight, and that's going to be one of the ingredients for some storms around San Antonio tomorrow. This is a complex system that is headed our way. I want to take you through it. A potent upper level low that is going to be tomorrow's storm maker. And when we're talking about storms, we're even talking about severe storms around the KSAT 12 viewing area. So through the high-res futurecast, a few rain showers in the early morning commute. You're going to want to give yourself a little extra time, but no severe weather during the morning commute. It's the afternoon with the approach of the West Texas dry line that we really see storms starting to blossom in the afternoon hours ahead of this dry line. And even in the last hour or so, we've seen this new computer model come out that pushes the storms further east. That's because it sees this dry line going a little bit further east than downtown San Antonio, but it's all going to be about where this dry line sets up. If this dry line says set up a little east of San Antonio, we're not going to have any severe weather in San Antonio. But if it does set up right over Bexar County, we could have some pretty potent severe weather. We're talking all kinds of severe weather are going to be possible. Hail, damaging wind gusts, and yes, even monitoring for some tornadoes. And we're going to keep an eye for our eastern counties out there too as well. It's all about where the dry line sets up. Folks who are west of the dry line, not going to see hardly any rain tomorrow. Keep that in mind too. There will be the haves and the have-nots when it comes to rainfall. Regardless, I do think that we're going to have either a severe thunderstorm watch or a tornado watch tomorrow. So what's the difference between a watch and a warning? A watch is usually issued first, and it means we're monitoring for the possibility of severe weather during the time of the watch. A warning means that severe weather is happening and you need to take action immediately. It's been a while since we've had severe thunderstorm watches and warnings in the area, so I thought this would be a refresher. If you do get a warning, it's best to be inside, away from windows on the first floor of a building. So again, tomorrow morning, damp morning commute, but then between the hours of 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., that's where we're going to be monitoring where that dry line is, where those storms pop up. Otherwise, quiet for the remainder of the week. So if you want some rain, hopefully you get some tomorrow, but without the severe weather. But regardless, we will continue to keep you updated on air, online, and on that handy KSAT Weather Authority app.
Thank you, Sarah.
All right, San Antonio FC on the road in Los Angeles, taking on the LA Galaxy. SAFC on the counterattack. The cross goes. He controls with the chest and right over the keeper. Chip it in the back corner. That is 1-0. Only 10 minutes in the game. SAFC wins big 2-1, improving the season undefeated 2-0 to start off on the right foot. And here we go. You can't have sports without Spurs. Spurs back in action tonight. This time on the road in California, taking on the Golden State Warriors. This is the start of a 4-game road trip. Tip-off tonight, 7:30. The Warriors will not have Steph Curry. He's out with a foot injury, and we are still in the mix to make the play-in tournament, to make the playoffs. So go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. Time right now, 8:51, 49 degrees.
Hey, take a look at the pollen count. We just got it in, and man, it's a doozy. Oak is now moderate, a sure sign that oak season is blossoming, and we usually see it peak end of March, early April. Ash is also present and is moderate. Molds are low, so spring is in the air in the form of pollen, and tomorrow we're going to have a potential for some severe weather. But today, the weather looks great. We're going to have tons of sunshine, 78 degrees. It will be windy, though. Winds will be gusting up to 30 miles per hour, especially this afternoon. Again, watching a window for severe storms, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., mainly along and east to 281. But one thing's for certain, we are going to keep you updated. After that chance for rain Monday, it's going to be dry in the week ahead.
Okay, best way to stay updated, the app?
The app, and of course, watching on air, too.
All right, Tara Spivey, thank you so much. Alicia, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Great Sunday.
Jinx.